Welcome back, users. In today's video, we are going to check out very different kind of Linux. Difference in the sense that it is not used by many of the users. It is still a niche and it is under development. Very fast development is going on. It is backed by Intel. The name of the Linux distro is ClearLinux. This is the website of the ClearLinux. So ClearLinux is an open source rolling release Linux distribution optimized for performance and security from the cloud to the edge, designed for customization and manageability. So this Linux project is backed up by Intel. So you will find a lot of good drivers. It is having a very good security and one of the best performance. In fact, this is the number one performing Linux distro in all the tests. So I will put the links to the results of the different benchmarking tests done on ClearLinux, and also a comparative benchmarking test between ClearLinux and other leading Linux distributions. So you can watch the results from the links given in the video description. So here is the video. What is ClearLinux? Why ClearLinux? The latest news relating to the ClearLinux, the software. So it contains containers. It offers cloud control and R basic, that is to run the R language programs for statistical computing and data analysis. So there are some links to the mailing list, the Linux ClearLinux forum, the Libera chat. You can contact them. So there is an email link is given. There is a link to the GitHub, to the contribute page, report bug. So this is their Bugzilla. Report a security issue. Then there is code of conduct, terms of use, and licenses. So you can go through it. And at below there is also a list of features that it is stateless. So it operates without any custom configuration. For example, a generic host with an empty /etc directory. Stateless systems strictly separate the OS configuration, the per system configuration, and the PT user data. So the user data remains separate from the system. The system is protected from the user data. So user cannot overwrite any system data. So because of this, the stability of system is highly increased along with the security, and it is close to upstream. So you get the latest version of the kernels and compilers. Daily security mitigations deliver available security updates to the customer rapidly. It is open source, a modular cross architecture open source OS providing the users the ability to differentiate. It is stateless, that we already discussed. It is built for customization. So right now there are some more than 4,000 complete packages available. So I had tested this Linux distro for around 10-15 days last year. That time the packages were less than this, but it is very rapidly developing Linux distro. So the number of packages available for the customers are increasing day by day. And of course, due to the backing of Intel, it is highly optimized, and all the optimizations are turned on by default. And if we go to the desktop link, let us check out what they have. Yes, so you can use the latest compiler in ClearLinux to compile your code fast. There are no optimizations left on the table. So all the Intel hardware enabling commits for the best on the IA performance are there. The kernel driven performance is present. Latest libraries with optimization for best in class runtimes. Fully validated and tested distro that moves in lockstep with the upstream. There are streamlined development tools and workflows, curated content for development efficiency, and of course in the documentation part there are concepts are there. So ClearLinux does things differently than the other Linux distributions. Use the concept section to learn in detail about the features that make ClearLinux OS different. So we will check this out right now after I will just finish this page. Then in the get started section you can know the ClearLinux OS properly, and then you can start using it. So there are step-by-step instructions to guide you through the installation of ClearLinux OS from bare metal to a live image. And in the custom OS part, there is a training to help you create a customized OS that is based on ClearLinux OS. The training content is self-contained and hosted on GitHub. So now let us, something is there. Yes, at the bottom, there is a contribute and collaborate section. So you can go through it, get the community support. So you can check out the Linux forum here. The contribution guidelines are there. So that is also good to check. And how to report a bug, everything is given. So you can check this out. Meanwhile, I will go and let us check out the concepts that make Clear OS different from other Linux OS. ClearLinux OS is not intended to be a general purpose Linux distribution suitable for novice end users. While we ship common applications, our purpose isn't to make OS for routine desktop tasks and provide immunity from security threats in all situations. Our unique focus means that we consider essential use cases, optional use cases, and even unsupported use cases differs from the other Linux distros. So you have to keep this in mind. It is optimized for the performance and security from the cloud to the edge. ClearLinux OS provides an industry blueprint on how to incorporate the Intel architecture features for a modern modular Linux OS. So friends, the ClearLinux OS development is tightly coupled with the Intel architecture. So it makes the most usage of the Intel architecture. So it extracts the maximum performance from the Intel architecture, that is the Intel hardware. So it is optimized to run on Intel hardware. It is completely open source, and our source code and packages source code are available on GitHub. Who is the target audience? Mainly professionals in IT, DevOps, cloud container deployments, and the AI. So it is not directly meant for the desktop users, but you can use it for the desktop. There are packages available, and as the development goes on, more and more packages are available for the general usage only, general desktop usage also. We leverage the pool of knowledge and skills at Intel to drive improvements to the ClearLinux OS. Several security features are designed to work out of the box, yet not intended to be intrusive. We focus on essential use cases and ignore unwanted and unsupported use cases. ClearLinux OS does not enable antivirus by default. We provide a bundle for it, that is the ClamAV. We leave the antivirus configuration to our users. In addition, firewalls are less important if the OS does not expose services to the outside by default. So we enforce this strategy by disabling the network services by default. For example, MariaDB listens to on a Unix socket. Engines won't listen at all, and other services similar are restricted from being accessed over the network. This strategy makes the firewall software much less urgently required. There simply isn't anything that a firewall could easily block. And thinking about the server versus desktop, so ClearLinux OS focuses on performance for server and cloud use cases first, because many design decisions associated with them are applicable to other use cases such as IoT and the desktop client itself. So what makes clear linux os different? So for first, the release cadence is there, so it is a rolling release. So we get unique version number that identifies every component in os, from kernel, driver to tools and to GUI applications. And most of the components included in entities are called bundles. Updates, so there will be regular updates because it is a rolling release. Ease of use, so there is auto proxy, there is statelessness, and the software update. So software update simplifies managing software and maintaining compatibility. Statelessness makes the configuration settings easy to manage and remain untouched when the software is updated. And auto proxy, it makes the tools to operate in some proxy environments without needing to be configured. So the tools themselves will get auto configured depending on your network. Now custom derivative. The same tools used to build clear Linux are available in the OS. These tools can be used to create a custom distribution that continues to benefit from the upstream rolling releases. Okay. And you can create a custom distribution that you need to understand how to use the AutoSpec and Mixer tools. Additional training materials are available and in the how to clear GitHub project to help you get started with the clear Linux OS tools. Deploy, we can also provide training on how to deploy at scale. Administer, so clear Linux OS provides the telemetrics solution for collecting useful information about the deployment as well as a debug system capabilities. So you can go thoroughly. So which components are used in clear Linux? So there is OS installer, there is a bootloader, boot manager, configuration, initialization, management. So it is not, I think, available. So instead of that, optional is micro config drive. So minimal cloud init, Ansible. Okay, so it can be managed through Ansible or through minimal cloud init. That is some initialization service for the minimal cloud. Then software updater is there, software bundle generator is there, software package builder is also there, software debugging is available, unified TLS trust store management is there, system and software telemetry not available, but you can use the telemetrics package. So it is disabled by default, you have to first enable it and then you can use it. File system, extended 4, VFAT extended 2, 3 and file to file system is there. Disk encryption is not available, but you can use Lux. System and service manager is system D, display manager is Gnome. So I think there is only one desktop available by default, that is Gnome, but you can also use KDE, XFC, LightDM and SDDMC, the clear Linux store. Display services are through Xorg, but you can also use Wayland. Wayland is optional. Network services through network manager, so you can use systemd-network D. SSH port can be a port scanning blocker, so that is Tallow is used for the SSH port scanning blocker. So there is no firewall available by default, but you can use IP tables and firewall D. Antivirus not available by default. It is available by default, but it is not enabled by default, but you can enable it. So that is ClamAV. Web browser links or links for text environments, and Firefox for the GUI. And additional software, so there are some supplied bundles are there. So and optional software bundles are Flatpak and third party software bundles. So let us check out what they have in the supplied bundles. Okay, so this is the software store. So you got the bundles for the data science, developer tools, education, games, multimedia and graphics, productivity, programming languages, tools and utilities, security and others. So let us check out one by one. So let us check out the data science. So these are the data science packages available. So quite a big number of data science software packages. Now let us check out the developer tools. So these are the developer tools that are available. Now let us check out the education packages. Now check out the games packages that are available. Okay. Multimedia and graphics. This is going to interest everybody, all the users. This is one of the most sought after software package section. Okay. Now productivity. Okay. Yes, programming languages. Okay. Tools and utilities. Security. Others. Okay, so now we will go back. Okay, so we will stop our video here. This was a brief introduction to the Clear Linux OS. In the next video, we will do the installation of the Clear Linux desktop. So thank you for being with us during the course of this video. Do like, subscribe and comment on our channel and share our channel. Do not forget to press the bell button. Otherwise, we will lose the new videos that are uploaded every day. Thank you. Bye bye.